Welcome everyone, guys. Today we are going to talk about rich text editors from the backend perspective. What are the options? What are the trade-offs of those options, etc. Basically, recently I decided to write my custom CMS, content management system, etc. And I started considering different kind of text editors which are available for frontend. And actually there are three main types of text editors. Let me consider each of them. First type, and the most popular, is HTML rich text editor. I actually used CKEditor 5 for Angular, and actually there is my implementation. And as you can see, you're working only with the text. You don't have any redundant information here like with Markdown text editor, which we will consider later. You can type here any content and just save it, but as you can see, your content is just like raw HTML. And in the backend, for sure, you'll receive the raw HTML, and we actually have some problems because of that. First problem is different platforms. For example, if we add mobile or desktop, we'll actually have a lot of problems with that. For sure, we have different libraries for mobile, for parsing HTML to native mobile markup, but they also have different issues, and usually mobile engineers need to write custom parsing logic, at least in some cases. The same we have for a desktop and other clients. This is the first problem. The other problem is your other infrastructure. For example, if you have full text search, or if you need to be able to download from backend your content, etc. You'll need to parse HTML manually or something like that, because probably it's not acceptable to return and to full text search with HTML tags, etc. The next text editor is Markdown text editor. You'll probably, if you're a software engineer, you'll probably use it because Stack Overflow uses the Markdown text editor. And as you can see, here you can type your text. It could be any text, but you should be aware of special characters in Markdown. Thanks to them, we can have this parsed view of our text, and some kind of illusion that it is, or not illusion, it is really can be editable. But basically we have almost the same problems as with HTML. All clients still need to parse this text. Also we can see it here. They need to parse this text. The same problems with download. It will be easy only in case if your customer is, for your customer it is acceptable to have a file like that. Also, you'll need to parse it for full text search or some kind of warehouse, etc. But what about the advantages? Actually, markup syntax is pretty much easy to learn and pretty much easy to parse. Also, it won't differ between each other in case you want to change or exchange your or replace your text editors. And also it has poor functionality if we compare it with HTML rich text editor. You can compare it manually. Just compare, for example, this ngx-markdown-editor for Angular and the functionality of CKEditor, and you'll see the difference. And the last type of text editors is rich text editors, which uses JSON. Actually, I didn't find any like single text editor without any other system, but I found a system, Contentful, which provides you an ability to use this text editor, which provides you JSON, not Markdown, not HTML, but JSON parsed text. For example, it would parse you with this HTML, but actually for your backend it would be JSON structure like that. The problem here is you are strongly coupled to this engine which parses this HTML to this JSON, but you have an ability and a space to do everything with that JSON, because you can manually pass it to search engine, full text search engine. You can manually stream it to your warehouse. You can manually parse it to file, return to clients, etc. You have a lot of options here, but they all cost you money, the budget of your project, and therefore it's a trade-off actually. And the last option is my custom implemented options. What I did actually, I used CKEditor, this kind of editor here. I can type any content and it will be saved as HTML, and in form of HTML text it will be given to my backend. But here I have implemented different parsers, for example HTML to domain, rich text parser, and vice versa, and I can feed them HTML, for example from HTML this parser, and it will parse it to actually my custom internal structure. Like I have structure, a lot of elements here, they are custom, and it's basically my custom structure, and I am not depend on other providers like Contentful right now, because this structure is actually mine and I can handle and fix it as I want to. But still, it's an effort. Yes, it takes me a lot of time. You should write your own tests for that, and etc. But actually it works, and it gives you a lot of space for implementing what you want to actually. What about the testing? It works. I can show you. It's like my custom approach, but it resembles the JSON-based approach, but with custom like fixes. For example, this given HTML, which contains a lot of elements and a picture. Let me show you. Yes, this HTML structure here, and we can parse it to our custom internal structure, and then, for example, in my database, I store it like JSON field here. In Postgres also I have a plain content, for example for my search engine, etc., and HTML content for a web client, because I don't need to parse each, in my case, article for returning it to client. I can pre-compute it with that. Also, I even don't need to compute it because I have already received this in HTML format. Therefore, I just save it as it is. And then I can parse it to my internal structure. Like here we have plain content, we have parent-child structure like tree, and yes, it has all necessary information. And parsing vice versa from this internal structure to HTML, and assertions that they are equal actually. it costs a lot actually, this solution, because in case your project doesn't have enough budget for that purpose, and it doesn't even need to have so much flexibility, you probably don't need to implement this, because you can just, if it is only web and you won't have mobile application and other clients, you can just work with plain HTML on backend and on your web. It will cost you almost nothing. For backend, it costs really nothing. You just start receiving and retrieving your content as HTML, and for frontend you just need to add this text editor by npm install, or it's I don't know what framework or library you use. And probably that's all. Thank you so much for your attention. Please leave your comment below if you faced such a problem and how you fixed it, how you solved it. I will be appreciate for that. And thank you for your attention, and goodbye.